Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Sonal from USA. I'm coming after a long time. I know I'm got really busy with my work. बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा काम है मेरे ऑफिस में, पर मुझे दिखाना था कि मैंने आपको दिखाया कि हमारी गाड़ी कैसे बच गई एक टाइम पे जहाँ पे ब्लैक आइस था। और अभी रिसेंटली 17 जैन को देयर वाज अ स्नो स्टॉर्म which happened around 10 to 15 miles away from our house. Luckily our एरिया वॉज नॉट इन दैट जोन, थोड़ा दूर हुआ इसलिए हमारे घर तक असर नहीं हुआ, पर हमारे घर से कुछ ज़्यादा दूर नहीं था। मतलब अगर हम लोग बॉस्टन में जाते तो हमारी गाड़ी भी अटक ही जाती वहाँ पे। तो मैंने वैसे बॉस्टन और भी कुछ जगह का ये कैप्चर किया है। एंड सी फेसिंग हाउसेस इज समथिंग इज काइंड ऑफ रियली अट्रैक्शन राइट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस कि एक सी फेसिंग घर होना चाहिए, बंगलो होना चाहिए। तो यहाँ पे सी फेसिंग घर वालों की क्या हाल होते हैं स्नो स्टॉर्म में, तो आज देखिए ये वीडियो में।
Parts of the state. This was Fitchburg. Now, most of this turned into a slushy mess when the temperatures warmed up, but it could all freeze overnight. And Eric, it sounds like that is the story of the next few hours.
Now, Fitchburg got about 6 out there this morning, and then the rain on top of it, the warm temperatures, and we'll see some of those spots freeze up overnight tonight for sure. So watch out for the leftover icy areas that we have in the wake of a storm system. We've got temperature ups and downs all the way this week. And then as we look toward the weekend, a potential for a more significant storm, not locked in yet, but there's certainly a pattern that we have to keep a close eye on over the course of the next couple days. I think overall, starting on Friday, we'll have the most consistently cold stretch of the winter up to this point. We've had, a day or two here and there, but nothing really over the course of, say, a week, and this is going to be our opportunity. Some of those snow reports from the mornings before the rain started. Shirley got 4 inches of snow, so did Clinton. About 3.5 in West Brookfield, 3 in Spencer. Hopkinton got 2, but nothing really left there. And Lexington, about a ½ inch. After that, the pouring rain, temps in the 40s to even some 50s. It felt like a March storm, but the higher elevations had some snow. Everyone else was dealing with rainfall, and then we had that wind energy and even some rainbows at the tail end of it this afternoon. But most of what's left over is in some of the higher terrain in central Mass and toward the Monadnock region. Our storm system took a bit of an unusual path, going right up the Hudson River Valley and now crossing into northern New England. That's why the big snow is to our west, out toward New York State. But it is still very blustery tonight. Some wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. We're going to keep the wind tonight and throughout much of the day tomorrow. There also may be a quick rain or snow shower out there. I've had some raindrops pushing across Cape Cod and the islands, and might get a batch of light.
With snow blanketing the landscape, some saw beauty, others saw work.
It's going to be pretty easy to remove. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and we're going to have to get the machine out for sure.
In hard-hit Massachusetts, the state's Department of Transportation worked to keep up, deploying more than 2,500 pieces of equipment to clear snow and ice off roads.
I'm out here if it's 1 inch, 36 inches, or 96 inches.
Slick highways turned deadly. The driver of this pickup was killed after careening off the road. The storm system got its start yesterday, straining drivers on this Kentucky highway.
When cars start parking and shutting down on the interstate, that's not great.
By this morning, it was the second storm in a week for the Virginia, D.C. area, while in New York City, 9 inches of snow made for a dangerous morning commute. Still, public schools remained open. But airports did grind to a halt across the country. More than 6,000 flights were canceled or delayed, the majority due to weather.
I don't mind waiting, 6 hours, 7 hours at an airport if it can get me home tonight.
Out west in Washington state, heavy rain and snow fell across the Puget Sound. Rising floodwaters closed a 20-mile stretch of a major interstate, and there were at least 21 water rescues. The storm in the east came just as several states were experiencing a critical shortage of snowplow drivers.
Has the snowplow industry faced something like this before?
I don't think so.
Massachusetts contractor Bill French says rising costs, supply chain issues for vehicle parts, and a labor shortage worsened by COVID have made his work challenging.
COVID's obviously affected everybody. Even if you have equipment ready, there's always the ambiguity of who's going to be able to work and who isn't. It's kind of a perfect storm.
And a rapid cleanup is critical here because of
in western Pennsylvania as its triple punch of heavy snow, whipping winds, and freezing rain from the south moved into the northeast. The city of Pittsburgh could get as much as a foot of snow. Parts of Pennsylvania are under a winter storm warning until noon. In New Jersey, a gale warning has been posted for the entire Jersey shoreline. The governor warns the wind could bring down power lines and plunge millions into darkness. But before arriving to this region, The storm created chaos for cars on North Carolina's highways. Freezing rain coated roads with ice. In Durham, crews worked late into the night removing this tractor trailer that flipped above an overpass. The driver was taken to the hospital. Meanwhile, in neighboring Virginia, the treacherous snow and ice wreaked havoc on truck drivers attempting to navigate the highways, forcing some to abandon their vehicles. Power outages added to the misery, with more than 100,000 customers left in the dark in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. And in southwest Florida, no snow, but multiple tornadoes ripped through neighborhoods, leaving behind a trail of destruction, but no deaths.
As this storm moves through Vermont up into Canada, officials are advising people stay home if you can. And Anne-Marie and Vlad, based on what my crew and I are feeling out here, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, that's great advice, Nikki. Thank you.
At the damage done to a home along Plum Island. Rough surf from this week's storm wiped out more of the beach. And of course, this isn't a new problem.
No, but there hasn't been a solution yet that's worked. Tonight, neighbors tell WBZ's Lisa Greshy they brace for the worst every storm.
Waves crashing over the last line of defense.
Without that rock wall, we wouldn't be standing in front of a house right now.
Over the years, those living in the Reservation Terrace neighborhood, the northern end of Plum Island, have lost hundreds of feet of sand. Stan and Judy Sachs' home on 73rd Street, no match for Monday's storm.
This time it totally undermined the foundation, took that away.
City officials deeming it uninhabitable.
Come on in.
And the inside looks even worse.
This room, there was like a funnel, the water everywhere.
And neighbors are dealing with more of the same. Crews having to come in and remove all of the sands the water washed up during the storm.
And the waves were coming in so fast and they were so high.
Though Leela Wright has been down this road before.
Watching my neighbor's house take such a severe beating this weekend makes it
सी फेसिंग घरों की कैसे हाल होते हैं लिटरली फाउंडेशंस वाइप आउट हो जाते हैं पूरा घर वाइप आउट हो जाता है दैट इज़ वेरी सैड सो एवरीथिंग इज़ नॉट रोजी जैसे स्नो में दिखता है काफ़ी जगह पे बहुत डैमेज हो जाता है इफ़ यू सी कुछ जगह पे स्नो से गाड़ी अटक गई थी कुछ जगह पे घर ये हो गए कुछ जगह पे टॉर्नेडोज आ रहे थे सो एक बार अगर स्टॉर्म आता है तो विंड इतना मतलब स्पीड में आता है कि घर पूरे डैमेज हो जाते हैं
Wiped away.
These neighbors are done with the temporary fixes, calling for dredging and an immediate evaluation of
बहुत सारा नुकसान होता है तो मुझे दिखाना था कि ये 17 जनवरी का जो स्नो स्टॉर्म आया था काफ़ी वार्निंग्स आई थी उसकी लकीली हम लोग बच गए बट काफ़ी जगह काफ़ी नुकसान हुआ उसका चलिए देखते रहिए मेरा चैनल सोनल फ्रॉम यूएसए